Good morning. My name is Anthony.
I'm Carla Marie.
And that's what we look like. Well, there was a little bit of a delay, so I wanted to make sure that people knew this is what we looked like.
That's quite the intro.
I want to, well, first off, hello. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Good morning.
JMills1888 just said in the chat that there's almost a 15-second delay between their TV and their phone, and they're going to try their TV today. Which one is faster?
I'd assume the TV, but that seems odd. So I'm assuming you're using the Twitch app on your TV. Man.
This is good research to know which one's faster and whatnot.
Technology is something else.
But thank you to everyone who's hanging out with us. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed already or gifted bits or all the other little things that you can do. I just saw that
Your microphone.
Fojita and Angela in Spokane both subscribed.
Thanks, guys.
I probably butchered. How would you pronounce that?
It's Fogita, but
Fogita?
I was messaging her on, I'm so mad at myself, on Instagram, and I saw her real name, and I was like, I'm going to remember her real name.
And?
I forgot it.
Oh, I met someone, weird place to meet someone, but I met someone in the sauna at LA Fitness yesterday, which was the first time I've been in the sauna since the pandemic started and closed down the gym. And we went to City Sweats here in Seattle.
Yeah.
But that was an infrared sauna.
It's different.
Which isn't as, oppressive. There's an oppressive heat in, a regular old school sauna.
It hurts. We should do a show from...
That would be disgusting. I mean, I was in there for 20 minutes and just drenched in sweat. But I met a guy. We were talking. He's a little bit older. Well, a little bit over 20 years older than me. And we were talking about the sauna being open again, things like that. And as I was leaving, I was like, oh, I don't know this guy's name, so let me introduce myself. His name's Denny. And the reason I remembered is because he actually said to me when I introduced myself, he's like, listen, it usually takes me 2 or 3 times, so don't be insulted if I forget your name later. And I was like, I'm usually the same way. And then when I was leaving the locker room, I said goodbye, but I made sure to say his name again. Mm-hmm. And then I was literally saying it over and over as I left the gym because I was like, I need to remember his name.
This is how I've been remembering names lately, and I've just been repeating people's names back to them. Mm-hmm. But I think I'm doing it awkwardly.
Why?
Awkwardly. When we were in Denver, we met someone named Susanna.
Yes.
And when I first met her, she's like, Susanna. And it was one of those elf moments where it's like, ooh, that's fun to say. And
Francisco.
Yeah. And I was like, I shook her hand. I was like, Carla Marie. And she said, Susanna. I was like, Susanna. And I didn't say it back to
weird.
her. And
that's
I was
weird.
Ooh. I was like, wait. But I didn't forget her name.
Fred the Mailman, thank you for subscribing with Prime.
Yep.
10 months in a row.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
That's
or actually
cool.
It says 10 months. It doesn't say in a row, which means you may have missed one.
I don't think so.
And that's okay.
It doesn't normally say in a row.
No, it does. It said if you scroll up in the chat, sorry to everyone who's watching this later on YouTube. Let's see.
Jen has gifted a total of 112 subs to the channel.
Well, thank you very much. Here we go. So Angela in Spokane, it says subscribed with Prime, subbed for 10 months, and currently on a 9-month streak.
Fred?
It's okay. Fred's allowed.
Can we talk about how small of a world this is involving Fred the Mailman? He doesn't even know this yet.
Yes, and
Hype train.
We got a hype train. So thank you to everyone who contributed to that so far. And although we're a little hungover, if that cup fills up and we continue and get through hype train level 5, it's shot time.
No.
Just talk and then we'll talk about shots later.
I can't be hungover. I don't understand. Okay. So we have a friend, Sherry, who lives out here. We've known her for the whole time we lived here, 5 years. She works for the record label Atlantic. So that means that if an artist would come into the studio or we're going to do an Ed Sheeran interview, she would be the one to set it up.
She is the point person between the record label and the radio stations that she oversees.
But she's become a great friend. And even the other day we went for a super long walk with her around Green Lake. So we had met up with Fred the Mailman when we were in Denver because he was in town officiating a wedding. And Sherry responds to my post with Fred and is like, I sat with him at a wedding. And I'm like, you were in Denver? What are you talking about? She's like, no. 7 years ago, he was at my best friend's wedding in Michigan.
Northern Michigan.
Yeah. And he was at my table. And he actually spent the night hanging out with my husband because she was the maid of honor and she couldn't be.
And her husband was by himself.
Yeah. And I was like, what? And first of all, what, did you know him as Fred the Mailman? It was just so many questions. And I don't even know if Christy's wedding, Fred just said, yeah. So
apparently there was like a brawl at that wedding with
Yep.
the bride and her brother.
Yep.
And they were like in trailers fighting each other or something. Something that sounds like a very middle
Michigan.
of northern Michigan thing to do.
Yeah. And it was just like, wait, what? And it's every once in a while you get hit with something like that. And it's like we're all truly connected and it's bizarre and I love it.
I do absolutely love things like that. Thank you to Ari Saucy for the subscription. Thank you to Britt for the bits. We are currently halfway through Hype Train Level 3. And if you're watching this on YouTube, it kind of means nothing to you except for we might take a shot later.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of people are talking about the You Look Great merch that they're getting. And obviously, I'm wearing one of our merch items right now. This is the You Look Great Classic hoodie or Everyday hoodie.
EMH.
I don't know, whatever it is. I don't remember what we named it. But I can't tell you how, and this is going to sound corny, but I can't tell you how full my heart has been watching everyone post about whether their packages are being shipped and they're getting the delivery notifications, showing up at their door, opening the packages, reacting, putting them on and wearing them out there. Yesterday, our friend Josh Martinez, who does nights now on Z100, who's one of my absolute favorite people in the entire radio universe. I've known him since I did a promotion at Resorts World Casino in Queens, and he showed up with Bartella, who works at KTU. He posted, he had like 3 shirts that he ordered.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. Listen, obviously, I don't want to undermine and be like, oh, you listen to the show, we expect you to support. That's not what I'm trying to say. When it's like people in radio who are, or just friends, like there are friends of ours that we didn't know purchase. And it's kind of like, there's part of it where like
Frankie P in Miami.
Yeah, it's like they don't have to have to do that.
No
one
Angeles.
has to, but it's like, I don't know. It's kind of weird when you see friends buying.
This is great. And again, I apologize to everyone watching this on YouTube because we're going to try to get the chat, hopefully by August. By the end of this month, really, we'll have the chat on the screen full time. But Cornelius says, love from Vegas in the chat. And if I remember correctly, Cornelius, we met you at T-Mobile Arena when we were working the iHeartRadio Music Festival, which was really cool to meet, a cool place to meet someone.
Yeah.
Thank you to Lisa. Oh, wait, that wasn't Lisa. I just saw her name, and then it's actually SP Spaz Dad. Lisa, I know that you sub and gift and everything, so thank you anyway. We are almost.
Okay.
Let's see. We got a minute to go through Hype Train Level 3.
So the reason why we are hungover or hurting today, well, I didn't go to bed till like 12:30.
I did like 1:30 or so. And there's a reason that I stayed up even later than I should have. I'll get into that later.
I have been going to bed like kind of early because I need sleep to function. I truly cannot function anymore on no sleep. So anyway, we went to bed late / are hungover because we went to the Yankee game at T-Mobile Park here last night.
Yeah.
At the Mariners game.
Most people would call it a Mariners game if you lived in Seattle. It was not.
Not a Mariners game. It was very much a Yankees home game in Seattle.
And especially because we sat on, there's 30 seconds left in the Hype Train. I don't think we're going to have to take shots. I don't think we're going to take shots today, Carla Marie.
Please don't do it.
We were sitting on the Yankees dugout side of the field.
Yeah.
And I think that's where most of the New Yorkers or Yankees fans
I saw
sat.
them everywhere. It was wild.
But we were at like the highest concentration of them. Are we going to hit this hype train is the question. There's 10 seconds or 13 seconds left.
Anthony and I were looking around and we were dying at everyone in their Yankee gear. And we're like, who just did that?
Oh, we got through. We got through Hype Train Level 4 or 2 Hype Train Level 4.
My stomach is burning.
I'm cheering for this Hype Train more today to see Carla Marie take a hungover.
No, because I want to throw up.
No, you won't.
Do something that doesn't
it's
burn
the hair of the dog thing, right? Isn't that a thing?
Hair of the cat.
Hair of the cat.
Can you pick something else? Can you give me the gin, maybe?
You're going to take a shot of gin?
That's not a thing.
You don't want to do that.
Okay, so.
But we still have 2 more stages to go. So we've got to get through Hype Train Level 4.
We do need Bloody Marys on days like today.
And Hype Train Level 5. So we'll see. Make Carla Marie take the shot.
We're looking around at everyone in their Yankees gear. And we're dying because we're like, that person is 100% not born and raised in Washington. Mm-hmm. Like, you can just tell. And we're like, that guy. And Anthony came up with this theory that if all the Mariners fans and all the Yankees fans decided to fight, even if it was 4-1 Mariners fans, Yankees fans would win because
In
of
a
just
landslide.
looking at the Yankee fans. Like, they were just like Jersey people who would cut a bitch.
It was almost like they all took a gigantic helicopter ride over.
It was a bus. It was like the buses to Atlantic
From,
City.
like,
Just
yeah, from AC and the Shore and Newark. And they all showed up at T-Mobile Park.
So it was so much fun. Like, Anthony was starting Let's Go Yankees chants.
I think I started the loudest one.
You might have. It was just loud because you were screaming it, I think.
Well, there was that.
We made friends with the people from behind us who were from Boise, and they were Yankee. They were just like, there's not much in Boise, and he was like...
He was a big Derek... The guy who I think is still in college.
Yeah, he was younger.
Yeah, he is a big Derek Jeter fan, so his whole family became Yankees fans.
There were like 6 of them who came over from Boise. That was really cool. Then we'll get to my new biggest pet peeve in life. We ate so much food. Anthony had ice cream. I had cotton candy, which is, I think, put me over the edge.
Is that why you're hungover? You have
I
a cotton
think
candy
so.
hangover?
But I only had a seltzer and a half.
Shauna from West Virginia may have pushed us all the way to Hype Train level 5, and Carla Marie might have to take this shot. Let's see. Because we definitely got through Hype Train level 4. Thank you to Britt. Thank you to Shauna. Who else? Court in Spokane for 200 bits.
Derek
Maria
Jeter.
in Bmore, or Mariah in Bmore.
It's Maria. Since when is her name Mariah?
Oh, yeah, it's Maria. I don't know why I said that. We're
Vicky,
almost through.
Vicky said Derek Jeter will always have my heart. Derek Jeter could go on a murdering spree, and I don't think I'd be.
No, I think you'd probably change your opinion if he was just murdering people for no reason.
I definitely have a sugar hangover.
All right, we're almost there.
Okay.
What, Carla Marie?
I will, again, get into how I almost beat someone up with the game last night.
No,
But
you didn't.
Anthony was like, why don't we ride scooters there? Because so we have the scooter rentals here. So it's like Uber. Link is the one that's around the most, but there's like Lime and Uber scooters and whatever. He's like, why don't we ride a scooter? And what is it? How many miles?
It's about 7, I think. Let me check. I'll check the receipt to see how many miles we scooted.
And I was like, I don't know. It's kind of far. And like, we have to go over a bridge. But okay.
Hey, we hit it.
Fucking shit.
Hype Train level 5, Carla Marie. You ready for some shots?
No. My whole body hurts today.
Let's see.
My back hurt from the bumps. My arms hurt from gripping it so tight. Anthony left me in the dust at one point. I was stuck in poison ivy trying to stay on the sidewalk and not go on the highway with my scooter.
So it says
Then we had a Dodge Taurus downtown.
on the way there it was about 55 minutes. On the way back it was 41, but it doesn't tell us the miles.
Yeah. 55 minutes on a scooter. My hands hurt from
Navigate to
from
T-Mobile.
holding it. So then on the way home, I was like, all right, we're Ubering home. Like,
Yeah, 7.1 miles.
I'm not, an hour on a scooter, Ricky. I was like,
I loved it.
We're Ubering home. I am not like playing the scooter game in the dark. And I open up the Uber app and it says, you must have a mask to ride. And I was like, we didn't bring masks because we got on the scooters and we went into T-Mobile Park where you don't need a mask.
Yeah.
So I was like, we got to take scooters home. The ride home was way more enjoyable because there were less cars on the road. But we were literally, if you know Elliott Ave in Seattle, it's kind of like, what is one below a highway?
I don't know. A very busy thoroughfare.
Like the speed limit's what?
It's like 45.
And
Maybe
I'm just
40.
in the bus lane on my scooter.
It was so those scooters probably go like 20 miles an hour max, and we were just sitting there puttering along on the scooters like big dorks at like 10:30 at night.
I spent what, $30 on scooter rides?
Yeah. Listen, I loved it. It was an adventure, and I actually had a really good time.
We could have streamed it, but just to scratch my face and let go of the scooter for a second was risky.
Let's see.
So,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we had like a
GoPro mount or something.
mount, we could have done that.
My
That
back
would have been a lot of
is
fun.
killing me.
What else do we have here? All right, so you can get into the person that you were annoyed with at the game, Carla Marie, and then I've got to go get our shots.
Okay.
I'll get some ice so that the
Oh, thank you.
Jack fire is a little chilled.
Ooh, Claire said a DJ streamed his scooter ride in LA. It was fun/terrifying.
Yeah, we've got to get a mount.
Yeah. We did not make it on the kiss cam. I don't think they have kiss cams at there. Where were we? T-Mobile Park. So I have a new pet peeve in life. It used to just be grown men wearing sport jerseys not during sporting events. Now it's grown men sitting 30 rows back from the game heckling the batter and the pitcher. Because guess what, buddy? They can't hear you, and all you're doing is ruining my experience at the game. Even if he was a Yankee fan, I would have been annoyed. He was making the weirdest noises and like just clapping for longer than like you needed to clap to try to distract the pitcher. And he would be like this. Oh, look at me over here. Oh, 30 rows back. Like the pitcher looked this big to us. Dude, they can't hear you. They cannot hear you. And it was so annoying. And the worst part is he was married and his wife was sitting next to him. Like, does that turn her on? It's got to, because there's no one in their right mind who could just sit there with that in their ear. And like, I tried recording. By the time I tried recording the audio, it was like down in the game got so close, I had to pay attention. But he was hype train success. Thank you. Just screaming. Oh, Katz of Seinfeld said, my brother's a loud clapper and yeller at games. I hate it. I wouldn't go with him. It was just not fun at all. And I had tweeted about it and people were responding like, what? I do that at games. I was like, you need to stop. Like, why? And he would be like, and he would do like a Let's Go Mariners chant, and it wouldn't be like in your standard like Let's Go Mariners. He would be like, Let's go Mariners, screaming. And he knew that I hated him. I'll give you that. And then at one point, him and Anthony were having a chant off. Mind you, like, I could have touched him with my arm. That's how close they were. And then they like laughed and like pounded afterwards. And I was like, why are we making friends with this man? I don't want to be friends with him. So yeah, that was the extent of my time. And he definitely knew that we were laughing at him at one point, which I don't want to be mean, but he was annoying me.
Yeah, but then I had a moment with the guy.
I just told that, and I didn't like it. It was just bizarre. But everyone says I know exactly the kind of person you're talking about. I was shocked when I saw that ring on his hand. He was a douche. But like, I don't. Well, then also, okay, wait. He was, first of all, he was taking photos of like batters. So like the Mariners would be at bat and he'd like try to take a photo. And like, I'm not trying to be mean, but like, dude, you didn't even have a good iPhone. And he was like zooming in on the batter and he would like take a photo and be like, oh yeah. It's not a good picture. And he started showing everyone around him. And then he went to go show it to a Yankee fan.
Not me.
He goes like this, and the Yankee fan like didn't even turn around. He was like all excited about his photo, and I was like, I cannot.
What do my shorts say? My shorts say, be a good person.
What do the shorts say? I was supposed to be into
what
the
does the fox say?
What does the fox say?
They say, be a good person. Let's see. Yeah, and he wasn't like a mean person at all. The guy he wasn't saying anything like. If I was wasted, I'd be saying way meaner stuff at the game.
No, he wasn't mean.
But he was just, it was weird, I think is the best way to describe it. And I know, Carla, I was listening downstairs. The fact that he was like 40 rows from the field and kind of behind the pitcher, because he was trying to get the pitcher's attention a lot of times. Like when the Yankees were pitching.
We were behind the dugout. Like, it's not even like we were
It's not like we were in the pitcher's line of sight. And I understand if you're within the first like 5 rows and you're trying to heckle and get in someone's mind,
they can hear you.
Yeah, I get it. But I think you've got to also understand this is a professional. And if you're 40 rows back, they don't even know you exist.
No, he was about our age.
Oh, no, I think he was a little older. Unless I just see myself as a younger person than I actually am. Maybe. I think if you're close, like part of the reason you buy tickets that are within the first 5 rows are you're rich and a huge fan. And I think you do get the right to heckle a little bit. Not to be mean or like racist or anything, which unfortunately happens at a lot of sporting events.
Why?
Oh, there are people that yell like real terrible, usually in Boston, but there are people that yell terrible things.
That's true.
Utah had an incident during the playoffs with one of the players, but I think you do get the right when you're close enough to be a little more obnoxious, especially if you're trying to help the home team win.
I don't think I would.
Like, I think you could be Spike Lee at some point.
He doesn't yell at people.
Yeah, he does. Spike Lee at Knicks games?
That would be, imagine getting heckled by Spike Lee. I couldn't be that mean to somebody, I don't think. I
think you can.
Maybe the Red Sox. But, like, even if they were, like, right there pitching in front of me, I wouldn't be like, you suck. The poor guy, he's playing a game.
Yeah, I think there's a fun way to do it. There's a fun way to heckle.
Pitcher's got a big butt.
But even doing something corny like that is kind of fun. All right, let me shake this up a little bit. Oh, yeah, and if the Astros come to town for the next, 3 years, you're allowed to heckle them as cheaters. Bang trash cans, dress up as Oscar the Grouch, whatever.
Are people doing that?
Oh, yeah. I think some people some people had to take off their Oscar the Grouch costumes at Yankee Stadium or something like that. Yeah, Spike Lee versus Reggie Miller was classic. That's when he did the choke sign, like Reggie Miller was going to choke, and then Reggie Miller beat the Knicks, so it kind of backfired.
We went to a
Are the Astros coming to T-Mobile? We should dress up like Oscar the Grouch and go to the game, see what happens.
Oscar the Grouch costumes are banned at Yankee Stadium. Gotta love it.
What a time to be alive.
So we went to a Yankee game at Fenway Park.
Yes, we did.
And I didn't feel unsafe.
No, I think there is because this is when we were doing the Delta trips. This is 4 years ago almost at this point. And Carla Marie's parents drove up. Mm-hmm. My mom drove up.
But your mom didn't come to the game.
No, because my mom had family friends. Also, my mom's not a baseball fan. But my mom had family friends that she visited while we were at the game.
Tell you what, though, those seats weren't comfortable.
No.
And we were squished.
I remember your dad heckling a Boston fan and them heckling your dad back, but in a fun way. Not an angsty, asshole-ish way at all.
I don't know. My dad could have got out of nowhere. He could have been like, yeah, go fuck your mother.
I mean, he could have, but he didn't.
Because he would, and he does it like this.
All right, you guys ready?
Wait, cheers, guys. Can I get a shout out and a birthday song? Is it your birthday?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what birthday are we celebrating?
And what is your name? Not Flugs21?
I hope his name is Frank and he just likes Lugs the boots. Remember those company? That company? Hey, I modeled in those. All right. In my foot action catalog modeling days, I was wearing Sean John, a whole denim suit and Lugs boots.
Spaz Dad said those look like big shots.
They're regular shots. It's a regular shot glass. And Andre's birthday is on Sunday.
All right, we got you.
I guess we can just celebrate all the birthdays.
What's better, Fenway or Old Yankee Stadium?
Wait, F. Lug said it is.
It is his birthday.
Oh, I thought Frank Lug.
My last name is, Flugbiels. So my nickname growing up was Flugs.
All right. You ready?
All right, Flugs.
Carla Marie, the top blue button.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
You right there?
So much better chilled.
Yeah, right?
You're not allowed to give me it warm anymore.
Well, then, sometimes you're going to have to do it. Let's see. All right. Cheers to everyone celebrating birthdays this week. We should do I feel like we've talked about this before.
Like they do at the games.
Like a
we
birthday,
should have a Jumbotron.
but once a week. So we celebrate on Thursdays.
We celebrate them.
The birthdays from last Thursday to there and then the following weekend. All right.
We could do a Jumbotron on the screen.
Does it say cha-cha-cha or shot? I think we are going to tell ourselves that it says shot from now on.
Tylene from Billings, Montana.
Also, I know a lot of people are going back out into the world, going to bars, getting wasted. Definitely try some Jack Fire. It's, I think it's probably a little easier than Fireball to take a shot of.
It's still going down. It's swirling around my intestines.
Did you end up on the kiss cam? No. They don't. Did we talk about this?
I did when you walked out. I don't think they had a kiss
also,
cam.
I would not kiss on the kiss cam. I just want everyone to understand that. That's not happening. What?
I would lick your face.
Okay, that's weird.
They were doing they were playing just the two of us and showing people sitting
But families could they were
by
putting
themselves. It was just always two people on camera.
Yeah, just anyone.
But it was anyone, yeah. We didn't get on that either.
What else? Someone asked what is a better stadium? Yankee Stadium or Fenway?
No, Old Yankee Stadium or Fenway was the question.
or old. Honestly,
I think both Yankee stadiums.
I loved old Yankee Stadium for like that's where I started going to baseball games. That's where my love for baseball started. Old Yankee Stadium was a piece of hot garbage.
Yeah.
So
But-
Fenway is a better stadium.
I don't think so. Fenway was like sitting on a old ass park bench with a pole in my way.
Yeah, but old Yankee Stadium was also uncomfortable. And what I didn't
I
like
think I
about
was too young to feel the uncomfortableness.
that's fair. What I didn't like about old Yankee Stadium was when you would go to like the concession stands, those hallways where you go to the bathroom and
Yeah,
concessions, they were
so
just
tiny.
they were tiny. You couldn't see the game from there.
Man, I haven't
I
been
didn't like 'em.
I haven't been to Yankee Stadium in so long. I need to go to a game, I think.
Also, the atmosphere outside of Fenway, because it's in like an actual vibrant part of Boston.
Yeah, but Yankee Stadium's got bars.
Yeah, but not like the vibe outside of the stadium is totally different. The
No.
vibe outside of Fenway feels like you're going to a festival. And I feel like Yankee Stadium, yeah, you have Billy's, you have the dugout and stands, but that's really it. There's no like festive fun vibe.
No, that's true, I guess. When it's funny though, anytime I've ever left like a sporting event in Seattle, I'm so East Coast in my head where it's like we got to leave early. It's gonna be chaos getting out of here. Granted, we live in the city, so it's also easier. But like, you just get out and you just walk. Like it's not shuffling people around, and a lot of the times it's maybe because there's not a lot of people there. But all I was thinking was how like if we left the Yankee game last night, we would have had gotten on the subway. And like the been crammed, and last night we just like strolled at a T-Mobile Park and
Pale Girl Can't Draw brings up a good point. She said there was a Stanley Cup presentation ceremony last night, and we're talking about baseball. So who won? Like
I don't even know.
I am so not into hockey, and I don't dislike hockey. Like Tampa Bay won.
Didn't they win again?
Yeah, they won recently. I don't hate hockey. It's just I think my bandwidth for watching sports.
Today's
ran
show is
out.
about sports and jobs. We're gonna get to the job part in a second.
Oh yeah.
I have a new favorite basketball team.
Okay, you don't, but
I grew up a Nets fan. Then I became a Warriors.
you were a Warriors fan for a day,
Well, we were in San Francisco during Game 7,
and they won.
so I had to be a Warriors.
It wasn't games. Was it Game 7?
We'll pretend.
It was the final
Now,
game.
because Phoenix is one of my favorite cities in America, I'm a Phoenix Suns fan because they got the guy that's been playing for a long time and never got to win, and the cool young guy who's so cute.
What are their names?
Jake Paul.
Jake
Chris
Paul.
Paul.
Chris Paul's. Which one is he?
He's the older guy.
Okay.
And the young guy.
Who is the young guy? Who is the young guy dating? Do you know?
Yeah, Kendall Jenner.
Okay.
And Chris Paul called him the light-skinned young guy when he
Yeah.
introduced him in an interview. That's all I know about.
No names?
Sean
Sean what?
Johnson.
Sean Johnson.
She's a gymnast.
Yeah, good job.
Booker. Sean Booker.
Sean Booker, huh?
What is his first name?
Sean Booker. Thank you to the chat.
Wait, is Booker his first name or last name?
I don't think anyone's helping you out anymore.
Devin.
Devin Booker.
He's my man.
Or Booker Devin. Which one is it?
No, it's Devin Booker. Cool name. So I'm a fan of him. He's so cute.
Is anyone watching the Euro? I love all the sports
yeah,
being
you were
talked
watching
about.
that yesterday.
I was watching yesterday.
We were cheering for Denmark because
we were cheering for Denmark because we just went to the Nordic Museum and learned all about Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
The capital is
Copenhagen.
there. You go. And it's just such a tiny little country
Mm-hmm.
that I think it was the underdog. It shouldn't have been in the semis like it was. And from what I remember reading, it was the last team to beat London at home, like years and years ago.
Yep.
But unfortunately, due to a BS penalty call at the end, they lost.
Oh,
to
Madam
London.
Skittle's been to Copenhagen. I need to go. I want to go to the Nordic places so bad.
I do want to do like maybe 2 weeks and just kind of
Yeah.
hop around from place to place,
I'm
from
never going
Finland
back
to
to-
Norway to Sweden to Denmark.
Yeah, I'm not going back to corporate America
Why not?
because they're going to tell me I can't do that.
No, I mean, you had 2 weeks off when you worked for Elvis and when we worked in radio here.
We didn't have Christmas time.
Christmas time we did. Yeah, I think most of the world, if you weren't English really, or already a fan of like an English
Wait,
team. What?
They lost their best player in the first match. He had cardiac arrest on
Yeah.
the field. Did he die?
No,
Oh,
he's
he's
alive.
alive. Oh.
Yeah, he's alive.
Okay, that's crazy.
That was the big story in the first
How?
rounds.
Like, you're so healthy.
He literally dropped in the middle of the pitch.
I was getting chest pains last night. Could have been from the sugar. before I went to bed, and I was like, oh, whatever. This is like, oh.
It was probably the sugar. Let's see. What else we have? What else is going on in the sports?
Oh.
So you're a big basketball fan.
Won?
Are you going to watch the game tonight?
Who won?
Who won
The
what?
first basketball one.
The first basketball one? I thought you were a big fan.
I know, but I was busy.
The Suns won.
Yeah, that's right. I remember being excited when you told me.
The Suns won.
Yeah, we listened in the car.
And then there's a game tonight. Are you going to watch? It's in Phoenix, your favorite place.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'll go.
Actually,
Maybe
we do have to take a trip to Phoenix because our friend Lady La is getting ready to open her
You said,
Lady La.
you said, like the way you said that sentence, you didn't even say friend right.
Oh, I didn't?
You're like, our friend la la.
Our friend Lady La.
Yeah, she's getting ready to open Mahalo Made. She's had a Hawaiian shave ice truck. It's an Airstream for a few years, and now it's gonna have a brick and mortar at the Frederick in Scottsdale area in Phoenix. Sorry, and I'm pumped for her. So I think we can go. Wait, like this week is she opening?
No, soon though. She says she's gonna announce it soon.
I gotta text her ass.
Can someone run a poll in the chat? Is this chat rooting for the Bucks
Ooh, I like
or the Suns?
Fred the mailman said, sounded like Anthony said Legolas. It
Yeah,
just
whatever.
sounds like our friend Lady La Legolas.
I mumbled everything.
You did.
Jumbled it all together.
Okay, we gotta get to the job conversation.
Suns in 4. Suns in 4.
Do you hear? So the kittens are in the bathroom below us. They sound like 4-year-olds running into walls.
Here, let me run this poll real quick.
By the way, if you know anyone who wants to adopt kittens, please have them email adopt@motleyzoo.org because these kittens are still available for adoption.
New poll. I got this. Who are you rooting for in the
DC Imani said, I'm from Phoenix, go Bucks.
NBA?
All right, I think even if you're not into basketball, let's fully invest in this so that we all can like watch and know that we're watching together, and we'll pick our favorite parts of the game.
Oh, there's a poll already active.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who started it? Whoever did, thank you.
I'm going to go with Claire.
Probably Claire.
Pulls up, she said, so yeah.
Ooh, first time chatter in here.
Ooh.
Jay Kruger Forks said go Bucks. That was the first
Oh.
thing you decided to chat. I love it.
Wow,
Thank you.
that's it. That's what you're going to be known as forever is go Bucks. Yeah, so let's all invest in this. Everyone has to pick a team. You can't switch teams.
Suns. I'm going to tell you why I'm rooting for the Suns, though.
Why?
So as much as I like Giannis and the story of the Bucks, because they're kind of the anti-NBA team right now.
Yeah, who knew about them before this?
Well, no, a lot of people did, Carla Marie. But the NBA has always been a superstar league where if a bunch of superstars link together, they're going to win championships. And the Bucks, even though they have a superstar in Giannis, have been the team that's like really developed over time and stuck together for the most part. So I'm a big fan of that whole storyline. But I do love Chris Paul and the way he plays. And I feel like Chris Paul at this stage in his career has a shorter window to win a championship. And I think he deserves one. So that's why I'm rooting for the Suns.
Okay.
Specifically because I think Chris Paul
He's
has
old.
maybe 2 years left in the league. If that.
I'm for that. That is why I am part of the reason why I would like them to win.
And Devin Booker, I do love. I love the way he plays. I love the way a lot of the Suns play. But Devin Booker's got years to win a championship.
But so now you don't want him to win.
No, I'm just saying.
Wait,
I'm
Chris
not
Paul's
rooting.
an asshole? I liked him.
Chris Paul, he's like on the court, he's a troll. Like he will, if you're playing against him, you're going to hate him. It's
You
just the
would
way
be
he
like
plays.
that
Huh?
If you played basketball.
Yeah, but he does things like he'll get fouls called on him and stuff and then make fun of the players that fouled him. It's pretty hilarious, actually. He is like a world-class troll.
It would be like me playing.
Kind of, yeah.
Have fun in your meeting. Said no
Ooh,
one
who's going to a
ever.
meeting?
Pale girl can't draw. Okay. So, are we switching from sports to jobs?
We could do that, yeah.
This
Or
is
actually, we should probably wait for this poll to be over.
okay.
I mean, we
We're
got some
like an
time.
all-around show today. We should
Yeah.
be hungover more often.
Yeah, Chris Paul is that player that if you don't, if he's on your team, you absolutely love him because he's creative at getting calls and flopping and things like that. If he's playing against you, you absolutely hate him.
Oh, that's cool. Ooh, first-time chatter. Oh, why would you make that your name? I can't even-
OGXD3 Spice.
Cable? Or is it despicable?
Cable X?
Despicable.
Okay.
OG despicable. Love you guys. Still remember when Carla Marie sent an Elvis Duran shirt. You guys are awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
I let you get a shirt.
Huh?
I let them get a shirt. I was the gatekeeper of shirts.
No, it was basically Elvis would tell you to send a shirt and you would.
Sons.
Ooh, looks like just over 50%. 56% of the people in the chat are rooting for the Suns.
Yeah, but like a lot of them also said, huh?
So we had, in first place was Suns. In second place was like no one cares.
Yeah,
and in third place was the Bucks.
All right, well, I'm already invested in the Suns, so you can tell me all the bad things about Chris Paul, but I can't switch.
But Texaco Shawty, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't you from Wisconsin? I feel like you are not giving us an unbiased opinion here.
No, we talked about Stanley Cup. Vicky.
I mean, barely.
Tampa Bay won.
We barely did. We kind of were like, hey, they won, and then we don't watch hockey.
I haven't watched hockey in forever, and I'm excited that I love the best part about the Stanley Cup is that each player gets to have their own little field day with the cup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we touched it once. Oh, no, we didn't touch it. We took pictures with it.
Ew, this person, first-time chatter.
What? L Pearl 20. Let's go, Rutgers. Woo, woo.
Go Hall. Are you milking my thumb? That was weird. Please don't do that.
Hell yeah. L Pearl 20. What year did you graduate? Please don't tell me 2020.
Another Go Rutgers person?
Court in Spokane. Listen, guys. So I got to host. Have they posted it yet? I hosted a live stream with the Rutgers president, Jonathan Holloway, last week. And it was a lot of fun. And I think they might have me back. I think they might work with me on more things. They talked a lot about their environmental initiatives and what they want to do as a university moving forward and how they can help the planet. And I was like, I'm your girl. Like, I've even thought about going back to school for environmental things. So, like, have me do this. So, bam.
Also, Vicky said she got engaged in front of the Stanley Cup. That is really cool.
That's just,
Let's talk about this job thing, though, before we go any further, Carla Marie. What?
They graduated in the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Hopefully you get like
and you're a little babe? How old are you?
Why would you sound like a grandmother? You're a little babe.
Where do you work? Did you
You're
get a
pinch
job?
their cheeks and give them a Werther's? You old lady. All right, let's talk about this this
some
job
change
post.
in your hand.
Yeah. Give her 47 cents.
23 and have a full-time job. Hell yeah.
All right, well, speaking of jobs,
Okay.
let's move on.
In case you needed one. So we actually know a few companies that are hiring right now. I know Gillywagon is actually hiring. If you go to their website, you can find all of that there. But
And that is the company that runs Seattle Cocktail Club
Seattle Cocktail Week.
and Seattle Cocktail Week. So they're looking for like event staff and stuff like that.
So, pause. Nick Wax. Carla Marie has a jar of those strawberry candies. Don't sleep on those strawberry candies. They are amazing. Hey, Seattle Cocktail Club, if you want to drop a link where people can apply, you can do that. If you work with them, you get to automatically work with us.
Also, L
It's a
Pearl
selling
20.
point.
I don't think we're playing at the Rack this year. I think the Seton Hall Rutgers game should be at Prudential Center, and that was like the big controversy last year.
They actually asked us to like do something together, and we have a wedding, and it's the most devastating thing in the world.
What, at the game?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know
Rutgers
that.
asked.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't
guess-
have done it.
No, they host a tailgate with alumni for both, I think.
I'll set that whole school on fire. Continue.
Okay.
So job hunts.
Jobs hunt. Jobs. Jobs. So Seattle Cocktail Club, they are hiring, and so are our friends at Halal Guys. And I believe the incentive, don't quote me on this if you apply, but I believe it's if you stay there for 3 months, you also get $1,000 extra.
Like a hiring incentive, yeah.
And it's like a behind the counter like cook, server, whatever. You can have zero experience. They will completely train you top to bottom on everything. So our friend Vince, we've obviously worked with the Halal Guys. We've done the hot sauce challenge there. He's been an amazing friend of the show for years, since we were still in radio.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me. He's been amazing.
Basically since they opened here.
So he was sharing the drama of having to find someone to work for them. And this is an email conversation he had with someone during the heat wave like 2 weeks ago. So he emailed someone and said, can you come to our South Lake Union location for an interview at 3 p.m. today? Dropped the address and they said, hi, thanks. But I was planning on spending much of this afternoon/evening trying to stay cool with my girlfriend at the nude beach. Maybe tomorrow or 10 a.m. this morning.
To me, like, listen, you're allowed, especially if someone asks you to show up that day, you're allowed to say, hey, I'm busy today or whatever. But I feel like it was just too much information
Yeah, but
and
you know
unnecessary at the same time.
10 points for honesty.
No, not in this situation.
But,
I
like-
think you could have just said, hey, I already have plans today. How about 10 o'clock tomorrow? And just been a normal human. Like, that's a normal human thing to say. You know what a non-normal human thing to say is? Hey, I'm going to the nude beach with my girlfriend, especially when that email is going to a possible employer.
Yeah. So,
But
I don't think they got the job.
Hey, I guess you do get points for honesty, even when it's not asked, I guess. And there's a difference between being honest and then giving extra information that nobody asked for. I think that's the difference for me. It's like you could have just said, no, I can't make it today at 3. How about tomorrow at 10?
Yeah. Lenny said, my friend had a follow-up from an interviewee that missed an appointment saying they couldn't make it, but they had gotten arrested.
Did they tell the truth is the
It's
question.
just- so that's the struggles of people trying to hire people right now. So if you need a job and know someone who needs a job, a lot of guys hiring. I forgot who else. Oh, Robbie and Everett just said they're looking for someone to do apartment maintenance. I think we really need to do the Carla Marie Anthony job.
I would
fair.
love to.
We've wanted to do this forever.
I would absolutely love to do the Carla Marie Anthony job fair, and maybe we do it in different like pockets of where we have a lot of an audience, like a big audience. That didn't make any sense, but I liked what Life is a Hike said. Just one of those moments where just because you can say something doesn't mean you should say something. And I think that's the lesson there.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously could have said the full truth, or you could have just said, no, 3 o'clock today doesn't work. How about 10 o'clock tomorrow? And everyone would have been fine. You would have gone to the nude beach with your girlfriend and cooled off, maybe burned your
Tell you
entire
what,
body.
Yeah, like what? That's not the place to. I would have responded with like, that's probably not a good idea. We actually have air conditioning here at Halal, guys.
Yeah, right? Let's see. Exactly. Spaz Dad. I think that's how we're supposed to pronounce it. Just answer the question. Don't give me a story.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been realizing, so our friend Mike, who is married to Court in the chat, who does a lot of our graphics, he actually commented to you, I believe, Carla Marie, or to someone about how he appreciates the way that I email.
Oh, me,
where it's just like, here's exactly what I need. Here are my other thoughts.
Like you put it
Good
in
day.
like details,
Yeah.
like boom, 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 boom. I said, unlike me, that I'm like, did any of that make sense?
But then Ricky, and I don't know if she's still in the chat, but she was in here earlier, tweeted yesterday how like when she texts people, she doesn't do the small talk like, hey, what's up in the beginning. She'll just text you exactly what she needs. And I'm such a fan
No.
of that.
So my nieces were visiting me like 3 years ago or whatever, and they told me that I forget what they read, but if you haven't talked to someone in a while and you need something from them, reaching out and being like, hey, what's up? How are you? And then asking them is actually like disrespectful. It's almost like just be honest up front. I need something from you, blah, blah, whatever. And then you can have the small talk.
Yeah.
And so I do that. And I'll be like, hey, like I'll say something like, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. I want to catch up or something, but this is what I need right now. And like it's not like I'm asking for money. We're all understanding of, I think, one another. Like, you don't need to talk to someone every day to be able to communicate with
Of course. And I think it also depends on how deep your relationship was before you stopped communicating, right? If it's just some random person that you're not actually friends with and you reach out like 2.5 years later for a favor, that's different. But like our friend, it's funny. We have our friend Tony who still works at iHeartRadio in New York, runs like all of the websites and the digital teams around the country. I reached out to him for a favor a couple of weeks ago, and he was just messing with me. He was like, dude, you haven't talked to me since like July. This is the first thing you're going to ask? And I was like, I'm a shitty person. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Do you know he was joking?
Yeah, no. We were messing around, and he's going to help down the road. So
he says.
No, he will. He's a good guy.
Okay, so now this is something that I have prepared for today.
Oh, okay, good.
And Fagita, Trisha, said something that helps me get to this. She said, I feel like a lot of people right now, job-wise, are trying to find something they love after this year rather than take what's available.
Yeah.
So it's harder to find people.
Well, I also think...
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm not allowed to interject?
I guess you can.
Okay. I also think other than finding something you love, I think a lot of people have appreciated the time they have with their families and friends and realize that it's not all promised and it's not all going to last forever.
Oh, absolutely.
And won't take time away from the things that they love to do something meaningless if they're not being compensated properly.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the other part of it too.
Okay, so no, you're right. So to go with that, are you aware of what's happening right now in the world? They're calling it the Great Resignation.
Yes.
4 million people globally quit their jobs in April. Like quit outright. I'm done. And 41% of workers globally are expected to quit their jobs like over the next few months, I believe it is. And the whole study is saying it's because people there's a few reasons. They didn't like their jobs before the pandemic, but obviously weren't going to quit their job in the middle of a pandemic. So you have everyone over the last year that was slowly realizing they hated their jobs. So there's like a backlog of people quitting. That's one reason. Another one is people are retiring early because they were able to cash out on the stock market and housing.
Great.
Yeah. Housing rise. Another one is they've just reevaluated their career path after last year, kind of like what you just said. They want jobs with better work-life balance. And one woman actually quit. I love this story. She quit after her job was like, hey, we all need to come in for a meeting. And we're going to come in person for a meeting that has 6-minute meeting. And she was like, I'm done.
Yeah,
if you're going to do this to us, either tell us to come in or not. And she just outright quit. I was like, I'm fucking done with this company.
No, and I will almost always, and I try to be as unbiased as possible, but I will almost, in full transparency, almost always empathize and side with the employee over the employer. And I think what we're seeing is a transition of people saying, if you don't treat me properly and allow me some regular humane freedoms, I'm out. And I'm actually reading a book right now. It's downstairs. What,
Pause
Carla?
for 1 second before we miss this. Jordy and Chrissy both saying that they want to switch careers to find something to do something they're passionate about. If you have that thing you're passionate about or what you're looking, drop it in here. You never know. There's people who will read this chat and be like, oh, maybe I can help them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And that's why I think we should do the Carla Marie Anthony job fair. And to get back to what I was saying, though, I think a lot of people are realizing that being a happy and healthy human is more important than making sure your boss is happy. Mm-hmm. And for a long time, employees have not been treated as they should be, just as humans, especially when you compare the U.S. to the rest of the world. I mean, in most countries, saying you have 2 weeks of vacation is embarrassing.
Yeah.
If you were to go to Spain or to England or to Australia or to Finland or Norway and say, hey, I just got a new job and they gave me 2 weeks of vacation, you would be laughed out of the room. Mm-hmm. Because most places will give you 5 weeks just for being a human and say, hey, you deserve time to enjoy your life.
I think all of America needs to go on a strike and say, we're not working until corporations actually give us the fucking time we need to breathe.
Continue, sorry.
2-day weekends, countries are doing 3-day weekends now. Not saying we have to do that. Maybe do that once a month. Give people more than 10 days off a year. We say 2 weeks. You're getting 10 days off of your year, of your shitty paying job.
Yep. And Angela said other countries give more maternity and paternity leave too. My cousin just had a baby in Canada. His wife gets, I believe, a full year. And a certain percentage of it is 70% of her salary. I'm going to mess up the numbers, but either way, they have great maternity and paternity leave, all paid for by the government and guaranteed by the government.
So your cousin Michelle's in here.
Yep.
And I am with her 100%. I'm sick of people trying, and she didn't say this, but I'm sick of people trying to be like, people don't want to work. They don't want to go back to work. No, they don't want to be treated like shit.
I think you can you can say the same argument, right? You can say people don't want to work, but you could also translate that, switch it up a little bit and say people want to live.
Right.
And I think that is the messaging that should be put out there. People want to enjoy the time they have on this world. And I think the pandemic and a lot of the stuff that has been happening in the past year, whether it was racial injustice, the pandemic, global warming, all the injustices that we have witnessed as humans in the past really 20 years, from terrorist attacks to the pandemic,
People are realizing that your entire self-worth isn't about your 9 to 5 or your career or whatever it is. It is about what you do outside of work for a lot of people. It
And-
depends what your job is, obviously. But people are just sick and tired of knowing that they're going to give their entire life to a company and then retire and have only part of their life
Yes.
left. It doesn't make any sense. And we have, keep that highlighted for a second.
Okay.
We have made this idea up in our head that we want to brag about how hard we work. You can work hard. That's fine. We've made this idea up in our head that like we need to one up each other over how miserable our job is and how many hours we work and what time we have to wake up and what time we leave the office. Fuck that. Let's start being like, I don't know, I worked 4 hours today and that's it.
And I do think that this is something that I think is coming to a head for a couple reasons. Obviously, like we said, the pandemic and having people be forced off and forced to have more time with their family and things like that contributes to it. But when you think of the lifestyle that mainly people in the millennial age bracket fall into, we've been told you have to go to college, you have to take on this debt. Now that debt makes you work harder and harder and get lower and lower paying jobs because the market is kind of flooded with talent that's gone to college. Then you wait to get married, you
Yep.
wait to have kids, and you have this whole generation of people now who are able to make decisions as to where they want to work easier because they don't have kids and families that rely on them. Because it is much harder to say, I'm going to pick up and leave my job when people are dependent on you. But because you have this whole generation of people who have waited longer statistically to settle down and have
Yep.
kids, they have the freedom to make the choices of
If we had
leaving
kids
a job.
right now, we'd be working for I don't know what.
Yeah. Well, it's not an opportunity that was afforded to like our parents, for example. Like my mom and dad, because they had me and my brothers younger, could not just say, hey, you know what? This job, I'm not really feeling it right now. I'm going to take 3 months off and figure out what I wanted to do. They didn't have that opportunity. Whereas a lot of the generation that we belong to does have that opportunity. And the generation below us, Gen Zers, are seeing that and saying, you know what? I also don't have to fit a mold and get a job just because society thinks I need to do that. I can figure out what I want to do and actually be happy.
So your cousin Michelle, who's worked in restaurants, bakeries, has her own small business, said people aren't going back to kitchens and restaurants because they're over the BS of having no time off, disrespect, very little pay, giving up holidays, no insurance, and having to work when you're sick. Like, that's what people are so unbelievably over. Our friend James here, who owns Watson's Counter, is the best run restaurant I've ever witnessed. And how he does things and how he works, handles his employees. Like, I'm telling you, if you want to support a local business in Seattle and someone who is supporting their employees, Watson's Counter.
Yeah.
He is amazing at how he handles everything. So I think if people don't understand what Michelle's saying, you haven't worked in the restaurant industry, or you've just been blinded by the fact that you've had an amazing job.
Yeah.
Like, it's a shit job. And some people do that job for their whole lives.
Let's see. Jay Mills said, when I moved here from Germany, I was shocked about the work-life balance. We get 2.5 days of paid vacation per month. And what a lot of people have realized as they've done economic studies around the world and in America and compared the two is that generally speaking, happier employees lead to a better workplace environment and lead to better run companies. And I think that is what people are asking for. It's not, I don't think every entry-level employee is expecting to make $1 million. That's not the case. Every entry-level employee is just being asked to be treated like a human being.
Yeah.
And at least being given enough money to live in the place where they work. And that's what it comes down to. I feel like we got real preachy here, but
No, I mean, I'm
let's
trying
see.
to read everything, and
There's
there's
a lot.
lot.
Well, because we were paused
We
on
were
Michelle's comment for a while.
That's why Costco has a low turnover. They treat their employees well. Lenny, yes. And that's the thing. Like, when you start looking at companies like that where, like, there isn't turnover,
Yeah.
come on, that's proof.
And there are people, whether they're pundits, whether they're economy majors, who worry that the economy will crumble because of this. But at the same time, was the economy built was the economy built the right way where the only way to make it run properly is to make people miserable?
Unfortunately,
And I think the answer to that is, generally speaking, is no. And now you're seeing what happens when everyone at the same time starts believing that employees are valuable and your time is valuable, because now you're seeing companies say, oh, we'll give you $1,000 signing bonus, or we are going to guarantee you this many hours. And what you're seeing is companies who used to say, oh, we don't have the money, we can't afford it, say, oh, actually, we do have the money, we can afford it. And now that you're making us do this, we will do it.
So Mark says he's leaving his job in a couple of weeks, and he's cashing out his PTO and sick pay with no notice after 7 years because he's been passed up over 5 times for an opportunity to grow.
And guess what? A lot of people who are in management positions will probably like, oh my God, how are you not going to give 2 weeks notice? But guess what? You don't get 2 weeks notice when you're fired.
No.
Right? So unless you are guaranteed something at the end of your contract where the 2 weeks notice is part of it, or if you love the place that you've worked and they've treated you really well and you think that they deserve that ramp up time to replace you, you don't owe it to anybody.
Actually, so Nick Wax just put a tweet in here from Dan Price. Dan Price and I have talked back and forth on Twitter a few times. I love this guy. I share his tweets all the time. He is the CEO of Gravity Payments, which a few years ago made it like huge. He took like what, a couple $1 million pay cut or something?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how much, but yeah.
To make sure that no one that worked for his company was making less than $70,000. And in the 7 years he's done it, he has seen like morale boost. He has seen his X amount of employees buy homes, have babies, like all this stuff. And it's just like, if you look more into it, you will see the proof of like when you pay people and give them a better work-life balance, how much better it is for the economy because they're buying homes, etc., and investing and whatnot.
Yeah.
So Nick's put a tweet in here from July 5th of what Dan Price said. Dan said, our business has a $70,000 minimum wage. A median wage is close to $100K. Full benefits, 3% of your 401k grants, and unlimited paid parental leave. We've had over 300 applicants per job opening this year. There's no labor shortage. There's a shortage of jobs with a living wage and basic benefits.
Yeah. And I think what you'll also start to see is companies realizing this is kind of what happened when startups first hit, when like digital internet startups first hit, and they were treating all of their employees really well. It became almost a corporate game to see who had the best fringe benefits.
Yeah. Like
who had
full kitchens.
full kitchen, snacks, lunch served, ping pong table, paid time
unlimited
off.
vacation. Yeah.
And you started seeing a lot of these companies, because Google and Facebook originally started things like that. They started competing with those types of benefits. I think what we're going to see is a world where that starts becoming the norm. Companies start competing to say, well, we treat our employees better than anybody else does, and you should come work for us because, yes, we're going to give you a decent wage, but also you're going to enjoy your life outside of work. And that's what people are finding important now, is enjoying your life outside of work.
OSU Beaver Girl just joined the chat. She said, are you guys from 99.5 in Oregon? We are not. We were from Z100 in New York, Elvis Duran in the Morning Show, which broadcasted actually into Bend, Oregon for a while.
Yeah, so is that where 99.5 is? Is that Bend, Oregon?
Elvis? And then we moved to Seattle, the two of us, Anthony and I, to host the Carla Marie Anthony show 5 years ago. Heather and Anthony. I am not Heather.
Oh, no.
But
that son of a bitch who's taking my name.
But if you get, what was Elvis on in Bend? I'm not sure, but Elvis Duran in the Morning Show. We worked there like 5 years ago. Anyway, back to rents.
Jordy Matthews said, I would love that, Tones. That's me. But I find it hard to see big companies getting on board until they are forced to. And that's the whole point, is they're forced to now. And it's interesting learning about Seattle when I first moved here and reading a lot about the city. It's one of the first cities that really had a great local labor union movement where all of the different unions worked together to control how they were treated. In New York, when you think of labor unions, you just think of the mob, I think, at least in my mind, I do.
The big rat.
Yeah. But the interesting thing that happened in Seattle years ago, and I want to say this was, right around, maybe right after the Great Depression. I could be messing up the dates, but all of the local labor unions decided to strike until they were all treated better by the companies that they worked for. And what they did was they organized. It wasn't a sporadic random strike. They organized the days that they were going to start striking, and they also agreed that the unions that provided services to essential services could continue running and not, suffer the consequences of going against the union. And basically the city shut down for like a week, with the exception of essential services. And that's when employers in Seattle started realizing, oh crap, if we don't actually have the power. We do have the money and we own the companies, but at the end of the day, we can't do anything without the people who we rely on to run the equipment, deliveries, storefronts, and things like that. And I think that's what we're seeing now in a less organized way is individually people are saying, I'm not going to sacrifice my entire life for a company that doesn't care about me.
Mm-hmm. And we had to learn that the harder way, I guess. Like,
yeah,
we got let go, and that's how we learned it. But like, radio is another one of those industries, and we've talked a lot about the radio industry. 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, we talked about the article that came out about what radio companies are doing, and it says nothing about paying people a living wage. Like, a decent job in radio right now, you're getting $30,000. That's it.
Regardless of whether you live in San Francisco or Dallas, doesn't matter. They don't like adjust for where you're living.
And that's like a salary, and they expect you to work 10-hour days, 12-hour days, like around the clock, weird hours. Like, it's just not, they're going to be the next industry that gets called out.
Yeah, there was a producer job. We've talked about this before. It was available for iHeartRadio in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say it was probably going to be for one of the sports stations. But it was, the starting salary was $34,000, but you needed to have 5 years of experience, 4 years of college, and the list of responsibilities was about 2.5 pages long. And you start thinking to yourself, well, wait, I had to go to college and then work for 5 straight years in this position just to get a job that gave me $34,000. And Denver's not a cheap city to live in,
No.
so you'd be living in a suburb and obviously commuting back and forth, and it's just kind of crazy.
You can't have a family.
Yeah.
When I first started, so it was 2010 when I got my job in radio. I was making $10 an hour.
Oh yeah, and that is before taxes and everything.
That's
else.
before taxes. I was making $10 an hour in 2010. Okay. But 40 hours a week, blah, blah, blah. My salary as a 22-year-old was $16,000.
Yeah. But again, that was also right out of college, so there's a difference. You didn't have to work for 5.5 years to get that
Agreed.
salary.
But because of my hours, like, I couldn't even bartend at night because I had to be at work by 5 a.m. Like, I could have probably waitress maybe a bit, but it was also in my mind, it was like, well, if I'm a waitress and I start talking to my customers, it was almost like embarrassing in my mind. That would be like, for me and the company, I work for Z100 in New York. You work for Z100 and you're waitressing. Like,
Yeah.
Looking back, I probably should have done it to make the extra money, but also I got to live my life. So, and here I am, and I'm fine.
And there's a comment from Rich that says, I guess I'm a rare breed. I do 80 hours a week, show up early to work because I'm determined to make the business successful. And
Is
that's
it
great.
your business, though?
And no, and even if it's not, even if it's someone else's business, if they treat you well and
Yes.
you feel like your time is valuable and you are valued as a person, I don't think anyone is trying to say, don't show up. I don't think anyone's trying to say show up and don't try and don't put an effort in and still get a salary. I think all we're saying is everyone should have that same determination if they feel validated when they go into work. And that is the thing that I think a lot of people are missing is it's not about how much you make a lot of times. It's about how you're treated. We actually, when we were interviewing for a radio job here in Seattle, one of the executives that we spoke to was asking basically like what we had expected our compensation to be. And I was very honest with him. I was like, my answer to him was, well, it's kind of going to be on a sliding scale at this point in my life. If I am guaranteed to do a lot of the things that I want to do outside of this radio job, and I'm given a lot of the freedoms in terms of vacation days and things that I can do on the side, then I can work for less. However, if you want exactly what the Carla Marie Anthony show was on our past 2 stations and that type of effort and commitment, then that's going to cost you more. And I think a lot of people now have that sliding scale in their minds where it's like, Well, yeah, I mean, I want to be happy. And if you allow me to do all of the other things that I want to do and give me a reasonable wage, then yeah, I'm going to be happy and I'm going to come to work happy every day and work my ass off. And with every freedom that I give up, you're going to pay me for that at some point. So I don't think it's necessarily about work. This conversation isn't about being a hard worker. It's about being valued as an employee.
Yep. And what you value more.
Yeah.
Hobbs said the whole location-based pay conversation is a big one right now. If you're going to let me work remote from anywhere, I should get paid the standard salary for that role or have the salary adjusted to where I want to live.
That's fair. Yeah, because if you signed a contract before the pandemic and you were living in San Francisco and your salary for that position was adjusted to how expensive it is to live in San Francisco, but you decide, okay, well, now I can work remotely from wherever and I'm going to go live in the middle of Montana. Well, guess what? The company can then probably scale. And that is a compromise that you and the company can make together. And I think that's what everyone's looking for is like, let's just let employees feel like people and feel like they have a say in their lives as opposed to you're a piece of machinery that has a heart. And we are going to treat you however we want. We're going to run you to the ground. And then once you're replaceable, we're going to throw you out and replace you with another piece of machinery, which for the record, we all will be replaced by machines.
That's true.
So that's happening.
Diana in Vermont said one day we're all going to wake up. We're going to be 85 and realize we just worked our whole life.
Yeah.
And that's what I do not want to do.
That guy that I spoke to yesterday, Denny, when I met him
in the sauna?
In the sauna at the LA Fitness in Ballard, we were he was asking me what I do. I said, I kind of fumbled through my answer. I was like, well, I host a Twitch show and have a podcast. So he was 65. And I asked him what he did. And he was like, I'm actually retired now. And he said something that stuck with me for the last 24 hours. He was like, he said something like, now I get to enjoy my time and play. And I was like, first off, that's great. But should we have to give up essentially, let's say you graduate college, or let's say you graduate high school at 18, you can retire at 60. Do we have to give up all of those years in the anticipation that we can hopefully retire and then play? Or should we at least be able to enjoy some of that time while we're working?
Yeah. It's like your most healthy, your back pain free years. And you have to sit at a desk. It doesn't make any sense.
Key2_act something. Welcome to the chat.
Yeah, they're in Aruba right now watching.
Well, that's awesome.
Are you my mom? I feel like my parents probably just up and left to Aruba. Yeah, what if you die before you?
Yeah. What if you die?
Lenny said, this is what I'm teaching my daughter. I don't want her to save money. I want her to invest her money. I want her to be financially independent, retired early. Bam. Let's make that a new goal. We're going to make new shirts that say FIRE. Financially independent, retired early. And
again, I want to go back to Rich's comment. All of this doesn't mean people don't want to work hard. I don't think that's the point. I think the better you treat people, the harder they work. Yep. Just like the better you treat someone in a relationship, the better they're going to treat you back, whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship or whatever it happens to be. And even your family. Yeah. The more your family supports you, the more you sacrifice for your family. And I think those types of relationships are what everybody's looking for. The book that I'm reading right now, I kind of want to go grab it. It's downstairs. It's called The Nordic Theory of Everything. Oh. And basically, I'm only 2 chapters into the book, so this isn't going to be a full book review. But the whole idea is this journalist from Finland moved to America because she got an American husband and decided to move here.
She got an American husband.
She did. She found one.
She picked one up.
And she was under the impression when she moved here, because America sells itself as the land of freedom, independence, and opportunity, she actually felt more constrained in America than she did in Finland. And she goes through some of the policy reasons that happens. And she explains in the first 2 chapters the Nordic theory of love. And the Nordic theory of love, I guess, according to this book, is true love is when both people are independent of one another and still choose to be in love and work with one another on a relationship. And she takes that, the Nordic theory of everything, the Nordic theory of love, and applies it to everything, and how true employee-employer relationships are best when both employer and employee is happy and independent and then comes together to work towards a common goal. It's a really cool book. Once I finish it, I'll give you the full review. But so far, I like it a lot.
L. Pearl said, I feel like we are getting relationship advice from Anthony. This is the highlight of my day. Claire said,
Well, this is all about work stuff.
Claire said, Anthony should start a book club. I probably wouldn't read the books, but it would be fun for others maybe. If we did a book club, I think I'd actually, I'd feel forced to read. I'd purposely put it in my day.
I've been trying to force myself to read for at least 20 minutes every day because it gives me a chance to not look at a screen, to have some quiet time. Let's see. I'm actually listening to what? Someone's responding to Fred the Mailman?
How to Money.
The How to Money podcast. Let's see.
I think you both should teach a college class. L. Pearl, I would
shouldn't.
love to. I don't know what I would teach it on. I think I could just do TED Talks. To
Honestly,
college
you put me on
students.
a college campus and I'm going to be funneling beers within 14
I
minutes.
was like, where are you going with this?
So I shouldn't be allowed.
No, they don't do that anymore.
They funnel beers through their butts now, don't they? Isn't that what kids are doing? Or is it a tampon beer now?
I don't know.
How are people?
Is it L. Pearl who graduated? Yeah, L. Pearl.
How are people taking in the alcohols these days? Is it through your butt? Or is it like an ear hole thing that I don't even know about?
Holotop. I don't know why I just said that. Hov said, Aunt, let's set up a 20-minute reading calendar block.
Ooh, we could do that.
Was that everyone has to stop and read?
Yeah, why not?
Stop. It's reading time.
Stop, collaborate, and read.
Wait, L. Pearl. L. Pearl is the one who said we should teach a college class who just graduated.
Oh, okay.
So, I feel more validated now that we should teach the class. Vaping alcohol.
Yeah, and if you don't know about the butt chug, I wouldn't Google it because it's probably going to be real weird stuff that you find. But that was a thing. Weren't people going to the hospital? Because I guess what?
This is real?
Oh, yeah.
This is what you guys didn't see in Hall.
No,
I knew it. Butt Pirates were your name.
we never funneled beers in our bungs.
That is not what I'm getting from this conversation.
Let's see. I graduated college 2 years ago, and I've never used a beer funnel.
I funneled.
Even in your mouth?
It was an episode.
Because I definitely...
Elizabeth said it was an
funneled a lot of beer.
episode on Law and Order SVU.
What the butt funnel was?
Stop, it's not funny. That's the Special Victims Unit one.
This convo did definitely just take a very weird left turn, Chris. You're absolutely right.
Hold on.
You know what? I feel like we got too serious, and now we have to talk about butt funnels.
Nick said, oh God, I just got off a call and the first thing I heard was, we have never funneled beer in our pubs. Welcome back.
I've got to allow that into the, gotta allow another one.
I was going to, tampons full of liquor, either up the butt. I can't read because it's bouncing something.
Okay, Hav is not, first off, that's a lie from Hala Hav. No one called me Tony Butthole in college.
Hav, I love you so much.
I'm going to block Hav from
I
the chat.
know.
Guy goes from wanting to schedule reading blocks to call me Tony Buttchug or whatever he called me.
Yes.
I can't believe I drove to Michigan for that guy's wedding.
Angela, that's the book, and I'm dropping the link in here again.
All right.
Okay, wait.
I think it is time. It's almost 9:30, Carla.
I know, but okay, that's what. Elizabeth said people were putting tampons full of liquor either up their butt or their vajays.
Yeah, that sounds like a terrible idea. I did a lot of stupid things in college, but if someone was like, "Hey, let me stick this funnel in your butthole," I'd be like, "No, that's too much for me, man. I gotta go."
Ooh, I just got dizzy.
Wish I could stay for the butt stuff, but the submarine. What?
This is going to be the information on our meetup. It doesn't have a location yet because it's a secret location. I don't even know where it is.
Are we ready to go?
So that findthebodega.com is the event where we will be doing a meetup.
Yeah. And no funnels will be there at all. There will be buttholes because they're on everybody, but no funnels. It is time for us to go. Thank you for hanging out with us. There will be a My Day Friday episode tomorrow, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
We are also working on a lot of really cool stuff right now, and I highly suggest you sign up for our newsletter because that will be the first place that we let everyone know what new projects we're working on. Mm-hmm. Thank you to everyone who put up with the employment chat, the butthole chat, everything we've talked about today.
Sports with a Z.
Sports and all the
Today we
inaccuracies
covered
of our show.
Sports, careers, and butts.
Peace out.